welcome to the Untitled Bad Movie Podcast, where we have a funky good time with some funky bad movies. I'm Alesandria Mentari.
And I'm Robin Caldwell, and today we will be looking at The Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement, directed by Gary Marshall, produced by Whitney Houston, and written by Shonda Rhimes, of all people. This movie was brought to us by our very own Alesandria, because she likes to see people suffer. Hi, Alesandria!
Oh, hi. I'm so glad to be here in my own house.
Yeah, we're recording. We started a podcast in quarantine, which is the most original thing that has happened in the year 2020.
Obviously. But, the late months of quarantine where, life is kind of moving on.
Yeah, it's, not cool to start a podcast at this point. We're anti-hipsters? What's the word?
That's the best
Luddites?
way. Anti-hipsters. We just watched Princess Diaries 2. We are the most anti-hipsters ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I summarize the movie?
Yeah, let's summarize. So
for those who
Mia Thermopolis Anne Hathaway has become a princess, and she is now on her way to Genovia. She's graduated university, and she's on her way to Genovia to become queen. The fictional country of Genovia.
Totally.
Yeah.
And, there's a law where, the women in Genovia, to become a queen, they need to get married. So she needs to find a husband in 30 days. It's, even less time than 90 Day Fiancé, so.
Oh, my God. Exactly.
It's 30 Day Fiancé, the Disney
30 Day
version.
Fiancé. Yes, the Disney
Written
version.
by Shonda Rhimes.
Written by Shonda Rhimes. I cannot get over that. Because I knew that. You told me that about this movie. Okay, so let's explain
that.
Can we explain our backgrounds with this movie? Because I saw this movie when I was a kid. I saw it multiple times because I had a big crush on Raven. Yeah, that's my history with it. I've seen the first movie too. It's great. But I haven't really seen it recently. Whereas you, Alesandria, you wanted this to be our first episode because
I like to see people suffer. And
yes.
When I think of a movie that brings me immeasurable joy, I think of Princess Diaries 2 and sometimes Venom now.
Venom is very good.
Later.
We will do a future episode on Venom. We just watched that recently with some friends. But that was part of the inspiration for this show because Alesandria and I are both connoisseurs of crappy cinema, and we wanted to turn it into a podcast and have our friends on eventually to talk about their favorite bad movies too, because we have friends
or just
who love
have
bad
them
movies.
Listen to us talk about this cinematic masterpiece.
Yes,
so
for sure.
I actually, when quarantine happened, I ended up doing a lot more movie nights with my sister, so I've seen this a lot because of quarantine. But
nice.
We just watched it, or I rewatched it, and Robin just rewatched it for the first time in a long time. Robin, What were your thoughts on this movie?
I had forgotten many things about this movie. Let me just look at my notes. I
took notes.
I did. I took notes like a professional. I'd forgotten what it the first thing I saw in my notes in giant letters is just "Breakaway" written in all caps. I had forgotten that this movie, the tie-in song was "Breakaway" by Kelly Clarkson.
It's 2004.
It's so good. It's a great song, but it was such a weird moment to just hear it come on and remember, oh, right. The music video had clips of Anne Hathaway and Chris Pine in it. And
why was that there? I also think it comes at such a random scene. Out of all the songs that play, it's suddenly da 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 da. And for context, it plays when Anne Hathaway is talking to a young Abigail Breslin.
Yes.
Because she's getting bullied by some kids, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to march in the parade with us?" It's kind of hilarious when you realize this movie stars or features 2 future Oscar nominees.
Wait, who? Oh, yeah.
Abigail Breslin.
Abigail Breslin was an Oscar nominee?
Yeah, she got nominated Best Supporting Actress for Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never seen that. I should see that.
It's not a bad movie at all, so it doesn't belong on this podcast.
That's the thing, is I only watch bad movies, so I've never seen. People are like, have you seen Alien? I'm like, no.
But have you seen Venom? We have.
Yep. Haven't seen Alien, have seen Venom. Those are my movie priorities. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. This is why we made it.
Yes.
Funny story happened. A few months ago, I was on set. I work as an actor when I can. I was on set. I was talking to people about this podcast idea. When I said, I want our first episode to be Princess Diaries 2 because it's so bad it's good, all of the women on set, or like a good chunk of them, turned to me and they were like, "No, that's the best movie ever."
It's pretty good. I don't know if it's that good for a bad movie podcast, honestly. Like they make some deliberate jokes that land, and there's some acting choices that are being made, but I think they serve the tone of the movie.
Oh damn, did we not pick a bad enough movie? When I think of a movie that's like not perfect, but like it still brings me joy, I think Princess Diaries 2.
It's definitely not perfect. But I liked it. And it was written by Shonda Rhimes. I still can't get over that. Like, there was a moment where I was like, I knew that it was Shonda Rhimes, but I still, like, when I was watching it, I'd forgotten that part. And at one point, I remember thinking, like, oh, this writing is so sloppy. It's literally just, okay, let's get these two characters together here, and then we'll get them away from these characters so they can, like, the scene where she and her... Okay, so Mia Thermopolis is engaged to a British guy who she does not love, but she's engaged to him because of the law. But there's that scene where she and, like, her guy are out, and then Chris Pine and Lady Elisa?
Lady exists to be arm candy. Lady Arm Candy.
Lady Arm Candy. So they're, like, all at this garden event together, and then at one point, the writers... Shonda Rhimes, I guess, was just like, okay, so we need to get Anne Hathaway and Chris Pine alone for a scene that's just sexual tension, and so we'll just have the British guy go off with Lady Arm Candy, and I was like, that's so lazy. Like, I loved it, but it was lazy. But then I remembered it was Shonda. Like,
you know what this means? It means Shonda Rhimes wrote the dialogue. I loathe you. I loathe you. I loathe you first, and then they kiss.
That was.
It's just.
Maybe it's just because I've been in quarantine, but that was so hot. Oh my god.
So what did you think about baby Chris Pine in this movie?
Oh my god. The archery scene. There's a scene Mia Thermopolis needs to shoot an arrow for ceremony, and so the scene, like the movie, not the show. The movie has various scenes where she's just like practicing archery. And so at one point, of course, the writers are like, okay, let's get Chris Pine in here for some sexual tension. And so there's just a scene where he's like correcting her archery posture. And it's again, this is probably just quarantine talking, but it was very hot. I was like, oh my God. I was fanning myself like, oh my God, I can't believe he's touching her shoulder. Oh.
Okay, I need to confess something that might make you mad, but I don't think Chris Pine is that hot in this movie. For some reason, like, I like Chris Pine. He is my favorite white dude named Chris. But in this movie, he is not his beautiful self. So I'm like, what's up with this?
That's true. He's not quite
great.
Yeah, he hasn't quite reached, like, his final form yet in this movie. Like, he's still very, like, baby Chris Pine. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think he's got something. There's a reason they cast him. He's got something.
Yeah. But, you know, it still worked.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, because I've seen the movie so much, I feel like I was starting to get, like, more critical of character choices. Because, like, there are parts where he is acting, like, Chris Pine's character is acting very dickish to Anne Hathaway. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I'm like, no, I don't like this. He is not hot anymore. I don't care if you're Chris Pine. You're being a dick. Here's the thing, though. Chris Pine is really good at playing a jackass. So,
that's true. That's true. This was, that's part of the reason that, like, maybe you don't find him as attractive, because this was the point in Chris Pine's career where he was just like evil looking enough, I'm using air quotes, to like play, you know, he could do the, like, he could do the, you know, slightly hot evil guy gets a redemption arc kind of thing. Like, he had that look at the time, you know what I mean?
I guess.
It was before he went blonde. It was
actually, isn't he a natural blonde? Or is that not his real hair color? Is he? Because, like, I've been deceived by this before. I swear I thought, like, Vanessa Kirby was a brunette. She's a blonde. She just wears a wig and, like, the crown and shit.
Oh.
I've been deceived by this, too. It's, like, it's a thing. It's Hollywood. Who knows what your real hair color is?
I don't know what I'm supposed to type to figure this out. I'm just typing
real hair color. Okay. Sometimes it's like, look at the eyebrows. Like, sometimes the eyebrows don't tell you everything.
Sometimes the eyebrows tell you everything, though. Like, have you ever seen episode 1 of Riverdale? Where KJ Apa is just like, what's up? I'm a red-haired boy.
They stopped bleaching his eyebrows now, so you notice it.
Okay,
Oh, wait, what did you find?
I looked it up. It's just a bunch of pictures of him with different colored hair, and then like one where he's bald, and so it tells me nothing.
Damn it.
It tells me zero information.
We just need to know, is he a natural blonde? Oh,
Yes.
well.
It's very important for the Bad Movie podcast that we get to the bottom of it.
Well, we learn about Chris Pine's entire life. He went on to different things, but it makes me wonder because, like, both Chris and Anne are, like, totally popping in Hollywood now. You'd think that Disney would try to make a Princess Diaries 3.
Well, I mean, they can't make another Princess Diaries because she's the queen now.
Oh,
So
well, maybe they have a
Queen
daughter.
Diaries.
But I've been on Tumblr. I've seen people saying stuff like there needs to be a Princess Diaries like threequel where like their daughter like has to do stuff, but their daughter is the princess. So like Mia can be the queen, and then Nicholas Devereaux just sits there as the hot consort. Oh yeah, that's his name.
Chris Pine's character. We're gonna call him Chris Pine, but his character.
You don't want to call him
Nicholas
Devereaux.
I don't like. When I know an actor's name, I never call them by their character's name. I'm always like, and then Robert De Niro was being really mean to Ben Stiller. Like, I never...
That is one reference to bring up.
Yeah. Y'all, like, meet the parents?
Or meet the Fockers?
Oh, my God.
Oh, can I tell you something I've been thinking about a lot ever since I started rewatching this movie?
Yeah, totally.
I've been thinking about, like, the accents in the movie.
The accents!
It's like, it's Genovia, and it feels like a vaguely French-speaking European country, yet, like, almost everybody speaks English, just with a bit of French, like, spattered in there. And then there's a guy, like, there's a character who's, like, this captain of the guard kind of guy, and he speaks like he's from Texas.
Yeah.
There's, like... random American accents in there. Anyways, you were saying?
I also loved... No, I was just to add on to that, also Paolo, they bring back Paolo for the sequel, and there's this great moment, because he's Italian, right? That's the whole thing.
I think. Sometimes I'm like, is he supposed to be French?
Maybe it's supposed to be
Italian.
vaguely European. I think, because he comes in, so the scene in this movie, like, I don't remember I remember he gives her a makeover in the first one. I don't really remember too many specifics. But in this one, the beginning of the scene, he comes in and he's saying, like, oh, molto bene, and, like, he's speaking Italian. But then there's a scene where he has to count, and he just goes, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, where are you from?
I have heard that in Europe it's really common to speak, like, multiple languages.
Oh,
like, Spanish, French, and Italian, I think. They're, like, they're connected in some way, so maybe that's why. But are we thinking too deep about this movie?
We might be thinking too deep. Let's get into the lore of the Princess Diaries cinematic universe. Oh my god, this movie is part of the MCU! I just remembered! So this movie, technically, because it was written by Shonda Rhimes, and features a cameo by the late great Stan Lee, may he rest in peace. Okay, they say "May he rest in peace" a lot in the movie. Maybe that.
Whenever they say
joke.
King Rupert, which is the name of
Anne Hathaway's
Mia's
dad.
grandfather, I think.
Grandfather, yes.
Grandfather, and then her dad is Philippe. I can't remember the lore. Anyways, go on.
But yeah, just saying, because it's got a cameo from the late great Stan Lee, and because Shonda wrote it, this movie is technically. Not really technically, but I like to think that it's technically part of Shondaland and the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, it is.
Which is fantastic.
And it's starring Catwoman and co-starring Steve Trevor.
Oh, is that his character's name in Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chris
I haven't seen Wonder
Pine.
Woman either.
It's okay. This is a podcast where we don't watch good movies. So
yes, that's true.
It's okay.
That's true.
It's like... Sometimes I like to imagine that this takes place in the same universe as A Christmas Prince. Have you seen that?
I have not, but I did once watch a video on YouTube by Jenny Nicholson where she talked about how it's like a weird dystopia that they live in. It was quite compelling. Not compelling enough to make me watch the movie, but...
I have watched it. I hated it. I watched it at Christmas time. I got rather intoxicated. That's the thing I've realized at Christmas time for me as an adult is now to watch bad movies that I'm probably not in the demographic for and use it as an excuse to just drink a lot. Nice. But yeah, I just remember the drunkest I've ever gotten involved watching A Christmas Prince 2. So
nice.
That's my life. But anyways,
that's not so bad.
Back on A Christmas Prince. It takes
Yes.
place in the fictional country of Aldovia. So I like to imagine that Genovia is somewhere far away. Maybe like in A Christmas Prince 4 / Princess Diaries 3, Genovia tries to overtake Aldovia because, I mean, in The Christmas Prince, like, the Aldovian royalty don't treat their commoners that well, so, like, maybe they deserve to get overthrown.
That's true. And in Genovia, everybody seems pretty happy. Like, they're all bringing offerings to the royal family for some reason.
Like, no
I
one's
thought that was weird.
protesting, like, what about our jobs?
Yeah. I will say, though, the presentation scene was kind of weird to me.
Where the guy came with the chicken and
Yeah.
this lady's like, Madame, a million for your table.
Yeah, it's just
The
like all
French
the...
accent.
Yeah. But it's like all the commoners, maybe it's just because what I know about, like, class privilege now, but the idea of all the commoners just, like, bringing their wares to the royal family in their palace so that they can eat, I just thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, like, also, how do you know, like, that shit's not poisoned? How do you know that French lady didn't, like, stick a razor blade in the melon for the table? Like, there could be inherent danger, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I feel like every royal family has enemies of some kind. Oh, speaking of royal families, there was a little, not really a cameo, but there was, like, a reference to Prince William, which I thought was really
that was
funny.
cute. That was cute. I enjoyed that.
Back when
We're just,
William
like,
had
just,
hair.
like, looking at him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, back when he had hair. There's a scene where, so because she needs to get married in order to become queen, there's a scene where Anne Hathaway is, like, looking through a bunch of photos of suitors and reading. She's, like, swiping through Tinder, basically, like royalty Tinder. She's like, no, he's too young, he's too old.
Prince Tinder, royal European
Yes.
Prince Tinder.
Exactly. So she's looking through Tinder, and at one point, Prince William just shows up, and they're like, great. And then, but then somebody says, oh, he's not actually eligible. And they're like, well, then why'd you put him in? Because I just like to look at him.
And then Julie Andrews is like, me too. I want to know, does Will know about this? Does he know that Julie Andrews likes to look at him? Julie Andrews, who performed for his great-grandfather and grandmother. Yeah, she has. Oh, we haven't gotten into, like, Julie Andrews in this movie.
Julie Andrews in this movie. She's everything. Even her entrance. I love her entrance. They're like the eagles flying or whatever. And she enters in this flowy gown thing. And she even takes a little twirl. She takes a twirl.
gown that kind of looks like a curtain.
Yeah, it was kind of a curtain gown. She saw it in the window and she just couldn't resist it. So she's got her, like, cute curtain dress on, and she does a little spin, and she's in her tiara, and she's just feeling herself.
And then Joe, her bodyguard / crush, is like, you look great, madame, but you are late. And she is like, a queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early. And that is my Julie Andrews impression. She also sings in this movie, which apparently was a big reason as to why people watched this, because they just wanted to see Julie Andrews sing again.
Yeah, and it's a cute scene. She sings with Raven.
And the song is actually a bop. Like, I've listened to that song so much just because it brings me joy.
Crowning
that will
glory.
be your crowning glory, honey, when you tell your story. Kind of random, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty random, but it's a cute scene. Yeah. I also love I don't know why it just felt so 2004 for her to be like, well, I did do some remixing on my computer.
What? That's what makes it feel 2004 for you?
I don't know. But something about that feels uniquely 2004. Like the idea of somebody finding it novel. So for anybody that hasn't seen it, there's Julie Andrews is about to sing some song that she sang at Anne Hathaway's birthday, but she's singing it now at her bridal shower. Mm-hmm. And she starts singing it, and it's really sweet, and she's got this little backing track. But then this beat kicks in, and she's like, "What is this? I can't do this." That's my Julie Andrews. And Hathaway's just like, "Oh yeah, I remixed it on my computer." And the idea, like, she clearly found that novel, and I was like, "Oh, 2004."
I mean, nowadays she could totally wreck that in, like, iMovie. Like, get a backing track. Like, okay, she better start in the key of D. Here we go.
Yeah. Mia Thermopolis, more like Skrillex.
Oh, we are talking about Julie Andrews. We have to talk about the mattress surfing scene.
Yes, the mattress surfing.
So in the movie, Mia's bridal shower is like a slumber party with a bunch of like princesses all around Europe and I think parts of Africa and Asia. There was like token people of color in there. Anyways, so for the slumber party, what do you do for like a slumber party when you're 21? You obviously go mattress surfing.
Yeah, duh.
But it looked like a lot of fun. There's a part where Julie Andrews comes in and she's like, "What are you guys doing? Wow, you're so loud." And then she's like, "I want to give that a try. I did some flying in my day." Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And then she gets on the mattress, and mattress surfing is like just someone gets on a mattress and they go down like a big ass slide.
Yeah.
I guess they can convert the foyer into a slide somehow. Anyways, Julie Andrews stands on a mattress and she goes down the slide, and I heard that she didn't use a stunt double for that, so...
What?
There's a lot of cuts, I can't really tell, but I just remember hearing that she didn't use a stunt double.
No way. No. That's totally a stunt double. It's totally a stunt double. They have that shot of her from the back where she's got her hood up. She's got this little, like, night hood up.
Maybe, I feel like knowing some of Julie Andrews' personality, she like, laughs at a lot of things. She doesn't take a lot of things seriously. I feel like she would be like, "No, I want to mattress surf. I do not care that I don't know how old she was at the time, but old."
I don't know. Yeah.
Are you Googling the...
I'm trying to figure out
double
if
thing?
it was...
Oh, my God.
Did you know Julie Andrews does her own stunts? What?
Well, Robin
does her own
that.
stunt in the mattress surfing scene in Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement. "That's me up there," said Julie proudly in an interview, adding that it was tricky and a little scary. "I had people helping me all the way. It took more than one take." That's so wonderful.
That's Julie Andrews.
I love that she said it took more than one take because she knows. She's like, "I'm Julie Andrews. You assumed that it took just the one."
I just want to go over some of the other cast members in this movie. There's John Rhys Davies, who is taking everything way too seriously.
Is that the guy who played
the uncle?
Devereaux Sr.? Yeah.
Actually, he's called Viscount Mabry.
Oh, yes.
It's okay, we can't call him Daddy Devereaux. Oh.
We can for this podcast. We got Lady Arm Candy. We can call him Daddy Devereaux.
Well, he's not a Devereaux, and he's not Chris Pine's dad, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyways.
Uncle Devereaux.
I think he's Viscount? I don't know.
I think that's how they say it. Yeah, Viscount.
So, yeah, and John Rhys Davies in this is taking everything way too seriously, but in the most glorious way.
Oh, it's so fun. He's just clearly, like, he's having
his best times. Like,
he's living his best life and just, like, doing his best warthog impression every time he yells. And it's beautiful.
I just kind of feel like the director said, "Okay, John, you can literally do whatever you want," and he's just going, "Ah!" most of the time.
Yeah.
He screams the most in this movie.
He does, yeah. But it's great.
Oh, I was gonna bring up the inclusion of Raven back when she was just Raven.
Yes. Which is... It's so dumb. I remembered that she was in the movie, but still when that popped up in the credits, I was like, "Raven the drag queen?" For some reason. It's
2004, and
Drag
it's
Race...
Disney. It's Raven. We know who that is.
I know. It was for just a split second, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, no, of course, Raven, yeah."
I was thinking, is there going to be a Cheetah Girls crossover? Galleria and Princess Asana meet. They realize they look like each other, and it's like Barbie and the Princess and the Pauper. Has anyone seen that? Please.
I saw that when I was a kid, I think. Oh, no, never mind. You're talking about, like, the animated Barbie movies?
An animated Barbie.
Oh, honey. Can we do one of those for this show? I feel like there's some fun.
Here's the thing. I would want to do that, but also, like, I've been told that movie's actually really good. So I think this is just, like, I'm not going to use the podcast as a reason to watch this movie and have the rental fee on my credit card.
Fair.
But, like, at the same time, like, I kind of want to see it. But anyways, that's another interesting reference to bring into the podcast.
Yeah.
First, Meet the Fockers or Meet the Parents, and now Barbie, Princess and the Pauper.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the movie? What was your favorite part? The penny farthing bicycle?
Oh my God. I had completely forgotten about the penny farthing scene. So there's a scene. Okay, so obviously, spoilers, obviously. But so Mia's gonna get married to like British Von, whatever. Like the guy, the British
Hunky
guy. That
British dude.
Is he hunky? That's
okay. I'm just
he's
saying.
cute.
I told you. I didn't think Chris Pine was hot in this movie, but I thought Andrew Jacoby / Callum Blue was pretty hot. And just seeing him in that in his wedding outfit, honestly, maybe I just have a type. But whenever I see those outfits, I'm like, okay, you look good. Mainly
you like a man in uniform? Okay.
In that specific uniform, in a 19th century themed, kind of military-ish, Napoleonic War-ish uniform.
Yeah,
not a fan of war, but I think the uniforms are nice.
Yeah, those are great.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
So she's getting married to this guy who she doesn't have feelings for him, but they're getting married because of Genovian law. And then Chris Pine's like, I gotta crash the wedding. And so because of something his maid tells him, and then his maid is
Gretchen.
like, oh, you can take, his maid Gretchen. And she's like, oh, you can take the family bike. And he's like, we don't have a family bike. And she's like, your grandfather's. And then they point to this penny farthing, and it's like mounted. It's mounted on the wall, like it's a game trophy or something.
That's what you do. It's like you shot the grandfather and well, here's the trophy.
You shot the penny farthing.
Anyways, so he gets on the smash cuts to Chris Pine in in a suit, a really nice
in a tux.
19th century suit. I like that fashion. Chef's
And
kiss.
honestly, who doesn't want Chris Pine in a tux on a penny farthing coming to stop you from marrying someone you don't truly love?
Yeah, rumor has it that's how he'll appear in Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, fuck, I hope so.
And then he finds this farmer, and he's like, yo, I need your horse. You can have the bike. And the guy's like, how do I herd sheep with the bike? Here's another thing I love about this movie. The extras, they just do the funniest shit in the world.
I'd completely forgotten how often it cuts to servants in this movie, just watching a security camera or listening to music that's going on in the other room and dancing or just
during your crowning glory scene, where Julie Andrews sings, it cuts to this servant dude outside and he's dancing along, throwing some sick moves while Julie Andrews sings. There's also one scene starts where there's a servant cleaning the mouth of a statue, and he's brushing the teeth. He sprays it with water and he flosses the teeth. It's a stone statue. I'm like, oh wow, they don't let anything go unclean in this place.
Yeah, gags like that were really fun. And also there was the subplot of one of the servants constantly chasing after the animals of the royals, chasing after the dog and the cat.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies where just the bit parts are played for all the cheese they're worth.
That's fantastic.
By the way, we're totally gonna put Spider-Man 3 on here one day.
We like we said at the beginning, we saw Venom recently, and now we want more Venom.
We want Venom, but Topher Grace.
Fuck yes, Topher Grace Venom. I'm so excited. I never saw Spider-Man 3. I'm so excited.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, what was another scene where the extras were just doing weird things? Oh, there was the security guard guy, I guess his name is Shades. He was holding a baby at the wedding, and the baby is the ring bearer, and the baby is just, babies are babies, so the baby is putting his hands on the guard's face. Just grabbing his glasses, just randomly
trying to pull out his earpiece.
I mean, realistically, that might happen when you involve babies and things.
Yeah.
I was also expecting that little kid to start randomly crying. There's shh, it's okay, your highness or my lord. I think that baby's a lord or something.
Probably. There were a lot of young nobles in this movie.
Yeah, there were young princesses.
Yeah.
There was the Abigail Breslin girl who's a princess in the parade.
An honorary princess for the day, yes.
Honorary princess. Oh, there's just so much to think about in this movie. Oh, by the way, Robin, I haven't asked, when was the last time you saw the first Princess Diaries movie?
Oh boy, that would have been when I was a kid also. I saw both of them. Probably the oldest I would have been 10 or 11. Yeah. Probably younger.
I think it's a funny movie to watch now because Sandra Oh is in that movie. Like
In the first one?
Yeah, future Emmy winner Sandra Oh, before she crossed paths with Shonda Rhimes, who helped make her a superstar.
Who does she play in the first one?
She's the Principal Gupta or Gupta.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Mandy Moore is in that movie.
Yep, I remember Mandy Moore.
So, like, okay, in the sequel, there's a scene where Chris Pine is like, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, or something, to Anne Hathaway, and it just made me remember, like, oh, yeah, the first movie had Mandy Moore, who voices Rapunzel in Tangled. That's a crossover we need. Tangled and Princess Diaries. Like,
That would be fun.
That'd be funny. I forgot who Mandy Moore's character was, but she's like someone who bullies Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
It's the irony of seeing Rapunzel bullying another princess.
Yeah. Yeah. I just remember there's like a scene where she sings Stupid Cupid.
Yeah, there's a random musical number to show that Mandy Moore can sing. This was before Anne Hathaway was like in Les Mis, or actually I don't know what other singing she did before this, but like the Les Mis thing got her the Oscar.
I tell you, Ella Enchanted.
Oh,
she does some sick singing in that. Does a Queen
don't
cover?
Don't go breaking my heart. Oh yeah, and the Queen thing.
Yeah, there's a couple musical numbers in that movie.
Oh my god, it's just another part of the Anne Hathaway cinematic universe. Should we do Ella Enchanted on this podcast?
I don't think Ella Enchanted is bad enough.
Oh, damn, it's too good.
It's cheesy. There's some cheesy parts. I wouldn't mind, but...
Okay, I need help differentiating cheese from objectively bad, because the first Spider-Man movie was cheesy, but I love that, and I'm not going to put it on the podcast. We are not putting the first Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3, that's okay.
Spider-Man 3.
Writing it down. Future podcast goals.
Now I'm just curious, because, what defines a bad movie? We're still, welcome to episode 1, we're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
So should it be, like, movies that have a low rating on IMDb?
Or is it, but there also have to be movies that, like, we like. Honestly, we have a big doc Google Doc full of movies that we want to do. We're going to do Cats eventually, 2019 Cats.
Yes.
Because
Cats
Robin wants to see me suffer.
Yes.
Like, I also put, The Little Mermaid 2, Return to the Sea, but I recently rewatched that, and I actually love that movie, so I can't bear to put it here. It has cheesy moments, like the Ursula's crazy sister moment.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not that bad.
Okay.
Venom, however.
Oh, my God.
Venom is in a different category.
Venom is a masterpiece.
And Bratz, the 2007 Bratz.
I don't want to see that movie.
You don't?
No.
What if I bring it to the podcast?
Then I'll have to.
Okay, vote now for Robin to see Venom. Either that or maybe 365 Days. Actually, no, maybe not. Not that one.
I don't want to see that either. I've heard things.
You're going to make me watch Velocipaster, so let's keep it light.
Velocipaster is a good movie, though. 365, by all accounts, is not. From what I've heard.
That's another movie I've only learned from know about by YouTubers dragging it, because I also just don't want that on my Netflix queue. I don't want my family being like, "What have you been watching lately?" I'm like, no, it's for a podcast, I swear.
Nice.
It's interesting. It's went from Princess Diaries to like, what defines a bad movie? Because actually, when we were watching this, I was thinking, is this bad enough to be so bad it's good? Because I'm enjoying every part of this.
Yeah, that's how I was feeling about it, too. It's got a 5.8 on IMDb, so I don't feel bad calling it a bad movie.
But, like, still. Okay, here's something on Wikipedia. I have the article open. It says, despite being met with near universal critical disdain, the movie had a worldwide box office of $134.7 million on a $45 million budget. So clearly it was successful.
Clearly. Did it get a theatrical release? Yeah, that makes sense.
It
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Sorry.
And this is in the era when Disney was like, okay, we're gonna have like these shitty direct-to-DVD sequels.
Yeah.
And they gave this a cinematic kind of release.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. It's in that era, like, I've noticed the era between, like, 2000 and maybe 2009. That's when Disney was being more experimental with their live-action movies. Like, this was before Alice in Wonderland kicked off the live-action remake trend.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting era of Disney where somehow they got Shonda Rhimes on board.
Yeah, Shondaland.
Oh my god, I'm on the article. It says production companies, Walt Disney Pictures, Shondaland, and Martin Chase Productions. This is part of Shondaland!
So Princess Diaries 2 is part of Shondaland. Yeah! Oh my god.
It's true! It's part of Shondaland!
That's so great.
I remember reading an article where Shonda Rhimes brought up Princess Diaries 2, and she said the only thing she really said was that she was excited to work with Julie Andrews. I bet she was like, "Can we have her sing, please? Is she okay with that?" Honestly, Princess Diaries is one of the first things I've seen Julie Andrews in. Like, I saw this before Sound of Music, before I knew of, like, her reputation as, like, that woman with that incredible voice.
Yeah.
Like, we are the generation who knows her as, like, the queen and not the magical nanny.
I don't know. I know her as the magical nanny, too. I grew up with all that stuff.
Oh,
I
nice.
loved... I was just thinking about this recently. Like, I remember I learned to pronounce some words from things growing up, and one of the things that I got wrong was advertisement. I used to say it like advertisement because of Mary Poppins.
I've actually never seen Mary Poppins.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The movie is too good. Can't have it on this podcast.
Yeah, no, not here, but we will watch it another time, off the air.
I did watch Nanny McPhee a lot, and that was my magical nanny kind of thing. It's Emma Thompson.
Yes.
That movie
That's
goes into meta territory too, but like we'll talk about that later. We could bring it up. Meta territory. I mean, in that it has Emma Thompson in it. It also features Kelly MacDonald, who voices Merida in Brave,
right?
And Emma Thompson voices her mom in Brave. So it's like, what? It just feels like Queen Eleanor trying to get her daughter to marry Mr. Darcy, aka Colin Firth. I always call Colin Firth Mr. Darcy, even though I have not seen the BBC Pride and Prejudice miniseries. But, like, I just love calling him Mr. Darcy. What?
I love that. I also have not seen Pride and Prejudice, and therefore feel like I can't call him Mr. Darcy, but I am gonna start. I love that.
I watched the 2005 one. But, like, honestly, I see Colin Firth in more things, so when people call him Mr. Darcy, I'm like, yep, that's Mr. Darcy to me, / the guy in Mamma Mia.
Yeah. I just found out recently, apparently Colin Firth used to live in Maple Ridge for a bit.
I heard that, too. Here's a fun story. I heard he used to live in Vancouver for a while. A former school counselor that I met back in high school said she had dinner with him when he was living in Canada, but he couldn't find work in Vancouver as an actor.
What?
He couldn't find work. I think this is before, like, this is definitely pre-King's Speech, so, like, he wasn't completely, like, popping, and everyone's like, oh, here, come here, now, you're good.
Oh, right, I guess he was known more as, like, a rom-com kind of guy before that, right?
It was, like, I think it was 90s, that's when he was living here. It's, like, this is definitely, like, secondhand accounts.
Yeah.
Watch this as it turns into a Colin Firth kind of podcast. We just talk about Colin Firth.
Yeah, welcome to the Bad Movie Podcast, where we keep talking about male actors and trying to figure out what their natural hair color is, and...
This makes me think, should we do Mamma Mia for one podcast? The first one is not that good, but the second one is too good. We are not touching that.
I think the first one's good too.
I don't know. There are some scenes where it looks like Meryl is kind of drunk. I've never seen a movie with drunk Meryl.
That's what makes it good.
I'm sorry, but some of it is just, I like it because it's cheesy, like the Don't Lay All Your Love on Me. Like, first you're, like, really into, I'm, like, Dominic Cooper and Amanda Seyfried, it's like, okay, you're enjoying all that eye candy, and then suddenly these men come out from the sea with flippers and shorts, and they start dancing on the boardwalk. It's like, where did this come from? I just want to enjoy the nice eye candy.
Okay, maybe we should do Mamma Mia. I think it's too good, though. I think it's too good for this show.
Hey, audience, vote below. Should we watch Mamma Mia? Is Mamma Mia bad enough to be on this podcast? Vote now.
Vote below. I'm just picturing somebody listening to this on the bus and then looking down at their lap like, what?
Vote now, guys. Anyways, let's get back to
We don't
Princess
currently have our
Diaries.
social media figured out, but we will have it figured out by episode 2, and then we will let you know what our handles are, and you can tweet us what you want us to watch.
Totally. We'll put our handles our stuff in somewhere in editing. We'll fix it in post. Should we get back to Princess Diaries? Because this went to Colin Firth and Mamma Mia really
It got
quickly.
tangential. It got very tangential.
Don't worry. People like hearing us talk. That's why we started the podcast.
Uh-huh. It's definitely not because we just like to hear ourselves talk.
Totally. Totally. It's not like we just need an excuse to watch these movies, so people are like, okay, it's a business expense. Got it.
Exactly. Too transparent for the first episode.
No, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. So, final thoughts on Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement.
Oh man, 10 out of 10. So I really enjoyed it. Like maybe I feel like I'm worried it's coming from a place of nostalgia.
That's what I'm kind of worried about too.
Because I did see it when I was a kid, but even the stuff that I forgot, like of course there were things like the mattress surfing. That was very fun to see again, and I remembered that fondly from the first time. But then other things that I'd forgotten were also fun and new and.
Like the penny farthing bicycle.
Yes. That was fantastic. I loved that moment.
Yeah,
So,
like who needs a horse when you have a penny farthing bicycle?
Probably that farmer, because he doesn't know how he's gonna round up sheep with a bike.
Also, you know what would have been better if like Chris Pine just came up to the courthouse or church with the bike, threw it aside, and he's like panting, sweating, out of breath, but he's like, I object to the marriage. I object. You can still do that now, right?
That would be a fun comedic beat. Can we just we'll rewrite the movie
and we'll green screen Chris Pine in with the help of body doubles and shit.
Yes.
But like, also I feel like, do weddings still do that where people are like, all opposed, please speak now or forever hold your peace?
All opposed like it's a meeting?
I know there's some places where it's like all who object, something like speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah,
I have not been into enough weddings to know if that's real, but is it?
I remember being at a few like the more religious weddings that I've been at. I remember that being there. Yeah.
I have not been to many weddings in my life, so
I got a big family. It's not. I've been to a bunch. You're not missing anything. It's fine. It's just they do a play where they get married and then you party. Don't worry about it.
That's the thing. That's how weddings work. Oh, this reminds me. In the movie, there was when the wedding got quote unquote called off. This woman was about to leave, and this guy's like, "No, stay. There might be a dinner."
I'd forgotten about that. Oh, also, can we just talk? I had the thought during the final scene. I had the thought, like, because the thing is now, like, when I was a kid, I had never seen a royal wedding, but now I have, and I'm thinking about how funny it would be to be watching a royal wedding, and then the bride-to-be calls it off in front of everybody. She hands the ring back to the prince, and he's like, "Thanks, we'll move on with our lives. This is going to be great." And then you're like...
That would be a scandal.
That would be amazing. But then, just picture, like Meghan and Harry's wedding. They're about to get married. Meghan's like, "You know what? No, actually, I'm going to give you the ring back." Harry's like, "Thank you, cool." And then Queen Elizabeth is like, "Well, since you're all here, I'm going to marry my friend Joe now."
Let's
Can you imagine?
This is a world where... I think Prince Philip was gonna live forever, but like in an alternate universe where doesn't live to 99.
Yes.
Then like that would be weird. And like nowadays weddings are televised.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, that the wedding was televised in this movie too. There's like scenes of people just in cafes, like eating a croissant and watching the royal wedding.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did not see Meghan and Harry's wedding, like, live. I just heard it happened, but, yeah, they're all televised now, so it would make sense that there are people just, like, on their phones, like, doo-doo-doo, oh, look, the Queen of Genovia doesn't want to marry that British dude. Still, though, like, in my head, I'm like, I feel like Anne Hathaway should have at least talked to him more. I feel sorry for Andrew Jacobi, okay? He's in this marriage, and the lady technically cheats on him. And, like, although none of them are really talking about, like, you know, sometimes people are in arranged marriages just to benefit, like, their land or where they come from. But
or to become queen.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they should have just sat down and talked about it like that, but this is a Disney movie, so everything has to be dramatic.
I don't know. They had that scene where they were just kind of talking about it outside the castle, and they were like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And they kissed each other and were like, I feel nothing.
It was pretty interesting for Andrew to be like, I don't feel anything, but like I still think this marriage is a good idea. There's a lot of Princess Diaries lore we could get into. Justice for Andrew. Like, Andrew deserved better.
I think he got what he deserved. Like, because that was the whole idea, was she was saying, like, I'm setting us both free.
I guess.
Like, I think we both deserve to fall in love.
That's fair. Thank you for explaining it to me. And he got to be with Princess Arm Candy, so good for him.
Yes, he ended up with Princess Arm Candy. I loved that. Just like a quick shot near the end. Like, don't worry, everyone's fine. These two got together. It's all good. No hard feelings.
It is a Disney movie. They have to do mostly happy endings. They can't do Fox and the Hound again. That's traumatizing. Honestly, I don't think this movie could ever be made today, because in a world where Disney live action is like Tomorrowland or live action remakes that are half-hearted, this would never get made. So Princess Diaries 2, you're a true time capsule of 2004. Yes.
Where Anne Hathaway digitized an audio track on her computer.
Maybe that's what makes you think 2004.
I don't know, like, because the rest of it, I think, is relatively timeless. Like, there's no smartphones or anything, obviously. But that was the one moment where I was like, oh, right, yeah, this is 2004, where they were like, I used my Macintosh to make a remix. You know?
Or it's like, yo, I burned you a mixtape. Like, you just send me the playlist, that's fine.
Exactly. Do you guys not have Spotify in 2004? I'd like to think that Genovia now has Spotify.
What's on the playlist? Oh my god, I bet, like, there's the Queen's playlist, and everyone's like, are you listening to what Queen Mia is listening to? I didn't know she liked the Pet Shop Boys. Like, ooh, she's a big Billie Eilish fan.
Oh my god, yes!
Genovia in 2020.
I love that headcanon that the Queen of Genovia is still around, still kicking out there somewhere, and she loves her some Billie Eilish.
Or her and Nicholas's daughter enjoy some Billie Eilish. Princess something. Princess Shonda. Named after the
Name her
screenwriter.
Shonda. Yes. Princess Diaries 3. The Next Generation.
Princess Diaries 3. This time it's personal.
Yeah. This time it's personal.
Here's something I've heard about this. Like, the Princess Diaries was based off the books by Meg Cabot. Apparently, she did not like the first movie, and she did not like the sequel either. So,
well, yeah, because apparently in the books, Mia's dad plays a bigger role in the movie, but then
dad's
for the
not
first
dead
one,
in the book. But it's Disney. You can't have a dad.
Exactly. No, well, the thing is, the reason they did that was because they found out that they could get Julie Andrews for the Queen, so they were like, we're gonna give her more screen time, so sorry, Dad, we're gonna kill you off.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah. I remember hearing that, at least.
I thought it was just Disney being like, what, princesses cannot have fathers? Come on, our first two princesses, their fathers were in the ground already.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a combination of the two, but what I remember hearing that because they got Julie Andrews, they were like, yeah, we gotta get...
Sorry, Daddy, you out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, quick question. Do you think that Mia counts as a Disney princess?
Yes, obviously.
So she's or you think she's, like, kind of up there with, like, Anna and Elsa, where, like, they're not in the lineup, but they're, like, important in some way? Oh, wait, did you not know that Anna and Elsa aren't official princesses?
I don't like that. I don't agree with that at all. They're some of the most popular Disney princesses to ever exist.
No, but that's the thing. Like, Disney wants them to be, like, their own separate brand. That's why they're not in the official lineup if you go to the website, but Moana is. Also, something I didn't know that Mulan was an unofficial princess until, like, 2013.
What?
Yeah!
Why not?
I don't know. Well, in her movie, she doesn't become a princess at the end, and the guy she marries, Shang, isn't like a prince, and they get married at the end of Mulan 2, which we might want to put on this podcast because that's a cinematic masterpiece.
Oh, is it in the bad way?
In the, like, it's an experience.
Okay, we'll add it to the list.
Sandra Oh's in that movie, Mulan 2. Yeah. They just got every Asian actor in Hollywood at the time to be in that movie. Anyways, back to Disney princesses.
Yes. But yeah, so Mia Thermopolis of Genovia is a Disney princess for sure.
Yeah, she should be in the official lineup, like just beside everyone. Even if she's like quote unquote an honorary princess, whatever that means. That's where like you get Mulan and Moana and Pocahontas, where like they're not like the traditional princess, but they have some status.
I've never heard about. I always just figured if you were a Disney princess who got animated, you were made into merch. Like that was just. I thought that was just the deal.
It's a weird thing. Like, obviously, I've done research into this. Apparently, Esmeralda was considered a princess until, like, 2004.
Esmeralda?
No, Hunchback.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just... I don't really think of her as a princess.
She's not the princessy kind, TBH.
Yeah, well, she's, like, I think Disney's definition of the word princess is pretty loosey-goosey, if you ask me. Because if we got Esmeralda on there, she's not even a princess.
No, but neither is Mulan, technically.
I guess, but... Yeah, okay, I guess so.
And, like, neither is Moana, technically. She's more like Chief's daughter. Same with Pocahontas. This is very, very relevant stuff to talk about on a bad movie podcast, princesses. Should we wrap it up? Now, final thoughts of the movie?
Final thoughts.
This is Shonda Rhimes' best work.
Magnum opus from Miss Shonda Rhimes.
Beyond that show that's been on air for a long time, that's set in a hospital.
Light black body. I was trying to do Grey's Anatomy, but different.
I was gonna say
Black's body.
I was gonna also bring up How to Get Away with Murder and like that one show where you learn how to murder. That's another show I haven't watched. I don't watch good things. That's why we started the podcast.
I haven't seen Grey's Anatomy either. Honestly, I'm talking about Shondaland as if I'm like a fan. I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never gotten like deep into Shondaland. Yeah, unless you count Princess Diaries too.
I've seen bits and pieces of Grey's as well. All I know is that's the movie that got Sandra Oh like a Golden Globe, and that's what made people realize she can act. So like, thank you, Shonda.
As if Mulan 2 didn't already teach us that.
We gotta watch that. I got like...
I don't want this to be the all sequels show though, because we're doing Princess Diaries 2 this week. We're doing Gremlins 2 next week. We've got Spider-Man 3 in the barrel for
later.
We need
a movie that's just bad on its own. I don't know if Venom counts as bad on its own, because it's like kind of spin-off, and if it succeeded, then they'd get Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's a whole like Sony versus Marvel, we want the rights to this character, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
This is the third time we've said final thoughts. We're getting used to this. Can you tell that this is our first episode?
Okay, here's my final thought. And then you can go and we'll wrap it up. Yeah?
You first.
Cool.
Yes, you first.
My final thought, I want Chris Pine to come chase me on a penny farthing. And then help me with my archery. Those are my final thoughts. Horny on Maine. Your turn.
My final thoughts is that maybe I don't have the best definition of what a bad movie is because I enjoyed this too much. We've mentioned a bunch of other movies, and if you guys want us to watch that, vote below.
Oh my god. We don't have a below. This is an audio format.
No, vote below.
Oh my god.
Anyways, so this wraps up the Untitled Bad Movie podcast.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Again, if you want Robin and I to watch the cinematic masterpiece that is Bratz 2007, vote below.
No. There is no below.
Yes, there is, because I said it. Oh, don't worry. We'll do Cats eventually, and that's totally standalone.
Yes. Do we want to, like, promote any? So, like, I'll promote my Twitter.
Yeah, I'll promote my Twitter and Instagram. They are @Sandrification, because I used to go by the nickname Sandry, then realized, you know what? I'm going to force people to say my entire name.
Because it's such a beautiful name.
Oh, it is. Thank you.
Alesandria.
You don't roll the R.
Alesandria.
Yes.
I just like to roll the R's. Hi, I'm Robin. Yeah, so I've been Robin, and I will continue to be Robin, and I am Robin. And you can, I don't know what that was, you can find me at That Chick Comic on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for listening.
That was the Untitled Bad Movie Podcast.
It was.